Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your phone, and seeing a headline that sends a chill down your spine. Overnight, gold became worthless. Your first thought might be, is this a joke? You check another news source, and then another. It's real. The global financial system is in absolute chaos. What happened? And more importantly, what happens next? This isn't just a wild thought experiment. It's a deep dive into what truly gives things value and how fragile our economic systems might be. So, how could gold, the ultimate symbol of wealth and stability for thousands of years, lose all its value in a single night? It would take an event of truly epic proportions. Let's explore a few mind-bending possibilities. First, imagine scientists announce a breakthrough in alchemy. Not the medieval lead into gold kind, but something far more advanced. Nuclear transmutation on an industrial scale. Suddenly, anyone with the right equipment can create gold from cheaper elements like mercury or bismuth. Gold is no longer rare. It's as common as steel. The scarcity that underpinned its value for millennia has vanished. Another scenario could be extraterrestrial. An asteroid, miles wide and composed of almost pure gold, is detected on a direct collision course with Earth. Or maybe, a bit less dramatically, a massive, easily accessible deposit of gold is discovered in an asteroid belt, and new mining technology makes it cheap to bring it back. The market would be flooded with an unimaginable supply. We're talking quadrillions of dollars worth, instantly rendering Earth's entire gold reserve a mere drop in the bucket. The price wouldn't just drop, it would crash to zero. Or what if it's not about supply at all? What if it's about demand? Picture a global cultural shift. A new philosophy or a worldwide spiritual movement emerges, one that completely rejects materialism. In this new world, owning gold is seen as vulgar, a symbol of greed and the old, broken system. People start giving away their jewelry, central banks are pressured to divest, and the collective belief that gold holds value simply evaporates. Value, after all, is just a shared story we all agree on. If we stop believing the story, the value disappears. The immediate aftermath would be catastrophic. The first domino to fall would be the global financial markets. Central banks hold thousands of tons of gold as reserve assets. Overnight, their balance sheets are decimated. The US dollar, the euro, the yen, all major currencies, which are partially backed by these now worthless reserves, would face an unprecedented crisis of confidence. Hyperinflation could rip through economies as governments desperately print money to stay afloat. Your personal savings would be hit hard. If you owned gold coins, bullion, or even jewelry, their monetary value would be gone. But it goes deeper. Your pension fund, your 401k, your stock portfolio, all would be in freefall. Companies with significant ties to the gold industry, from mining giants to luxury jewelers, would go bankrupt in an instant, creating a ripple effect of job losses and economic devastation that would touch every corner of the globe. International trade would grind to a halt. For centuries, gold has been the ultimate settlement medium between nations. Without it, and with fiat currencies in turmoil, how would countries trade with each other? We might see a return to a primitive barter system on a global scale. Brazil trades coffee for German cars, Saudi Arabia trades oil for Chinese electronics. It would be incredibly inefficient and would lead to massive shortages of goods everywhere. The geopolitical landscape would be redrawn. Countries with huge gold reserves, like the United States, Russia, and China, would see their geopolitical power severely diminished. On the other hand, nations rich in other essential resources, things like rare earth metals for technology, lithium for batteries, fertile land for agriculture, or even clean water, would suddenly find themselves as the new global superpowers. The balance of power would shift dramatically, and not without conflict. But humanity is resilient. Out of this chaos, a new world order would have to emerge. What would replace gold as the ultimate store of value? Initially, people would turn to tangible assets. Real estate, agricultural land, and art might see a huge surge in value. But these are hard to divide and trade. We'd need something more practical. Perhaps other precious metals like platinum or palladium would step up, but they could face the same risk of new discoveries. The most likely candidate to fill the void might be something completely different. Cryptocurrencies, designed to be decentralized and finite, could be seen as the new digital gold. Bitcoin's core principle is digital scarcity. In a world where physical scarcity just failed, digital scarcity might become the new standard of trust. We would also see a fundamental reevaluation of what value even means. The crisis would force us to look beyond monetary worth. Skills would become the new currency. Can you grow food? Can you build a house? Can you code a secure communication system? Can you provide medical care? These practical abilities would be far more valuable than a shiny, worthless metal. Communities would have to become more self-sufficient, relying on local production and the skills of their neighbors to survive. This shift could, paradoxically, lead to a more balanced and sustainable world in the long run. The obsession with accumulating abstract wealth would be replaced by a focus on real, tangible well-being and community resilience. We might see a renaissance of craftsmanship, local agriculture, and collaborative innovation. The world would be forced to build a new economic system from the ground up, one perhaps based on utility and skill rather than speculation and scarcity. So, while the collapse of gold would trigger an economic apocalypse unlike any we've ever seen, it might not be the end of the world. It would be a painful, chaotic reset. It would challenge our deepest assumptions about wealth, value, and the very structure of our society. It forces us to ask a critical question. If the one thing we've trusted for 5,000 years can become worthless overnight, what should we truly be investing in? Maybe the answer isn't a metal or a currency, but in ourselves, our skills, and our communities. This scenario is, of course, highly unlikely, but thinking about it reveals just how much of our world is built on shared belief. It's a fragile foundation. It's a reminder that true wealth might not be what's stored in a vault, but what we can build, create, and share with each other. What do you think would happen? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the what-ifs of our world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. See you in the next video.